I want to give you both an opportunity to tell us a little bit about your background and what makes you the best candidate, the better candidate for this position. I'll start with you.
I have 2 college degrees, one from Cuyahoga Community College, because I was living in Euclid at the time, and it's an associate degree with the major in accounting. And from there I went to Dyke College, which is now David Myers College, and I earned my Bachelor of Science degree with my major in accounting. I think over the last 23 years as Lake County Auditor, I've proven, as far as receiving different awards and opinions from the State Auditor's Office, that we have the ability to work together with a lot of elected officials and department heads in the county. And I'd just like to point to the most recent audit that we received, and that the county received the unqualified opinion from the State Auditor's Office. And I think this is important for the public to understand that this is something they want to see, is their elected officials working together in order to deal with these budget situations that we have in the county. The commissioners are the budgeting authority for the county. They set the budget for all the department heads and elected officials. As the auditor, you pay the bills and you're kind of the chief fiscal watchdog. So again, it's kind of a check and balance system, but you also need the help and cooperation of all the department heads and elected officials to make that whole budget process work. We're doing that in Lake County. Over the last 23 years, I've worked with many different elected officials. I've worked with commissioners that were controlled by Republicans, commissioners that were controlled by Democrats, many different elected officials and department heads. And I'm happy to say that I've been the chief fiscal officer over the 23 years, and Lake County has received that unqualified opinion over that 23-year period. So for those kind of reasons, with my education and background, I would ask for the support and vote in November.
I am born and raised in Lake County. Actually, I grew up a little in Euclid as well. I went to graduated from East Lake North. I have a paralegal certificate from Dyke in Lakeland that was conferred in 1992. I have been the fiscal officer for Perry Township since 1992. I have worked in that same position with Perry Library as well since 2005. I have my paralegal certificate. I've worked both in public service and in the private sector as a paralegal and legal secretary. For the last almost 20 years, I've held down 2 jobs so that I can get my 8 hours a day. I would like to be able to work within the auditor's office in an effort to bring costs down. I'd like to see some open bidding, some competitive bidding processes to try and bring down the cost, the expenditures that come out through the auditor's office. I believe that there is cost savings that will happen by attrition through the course of time. I mean, certainly I do not have the experience that Ed's got, but he's had the job for 20 years and I've been doing something else. So I would like the opportunity. I have the skills, I have the experience in public service, and I do believe that, that my skill and experience can help me to do the job and to do the job well.
Well, let's start with you this time, Chris, then we'll go over to Ed. But I want to talk about the operation of the office. When it comes to your turn, would you tell us, you've been there for 24 years. Yes. Have you done anything to upgrade the operation of the office over those 24 years? What have you done that's different or better? And what safeguards do you have? We keep reading about the auditor's office in Cuyahoga County. Anybody that needs a job seems to be able to get one there, and I don't know if they are earning their pay or not, but a lot of people on the payroll for the county next door. And Chris, what would you do to upgrade the operations of the office, if anything, or what safeguards would you institute to keep anything like that's happening in Cuyahoga County from happening in Lake County?
Well, certainly there has to be checks and balances between the auditor's office and the treasurer's office, and that has been evidenced most recently within Stark County. And I do believe that so long as checks and balances are in place, then I don't see any reason to change those. As I understand things in Lake County, things go very well, and I appreciate that. I certainly appreciate. I think that as a new person coming into that office, you have to take time with the staff that is in place and assess what happens and how it happens and whether or not it is the most efficient and the most cost efficient for the office itself. I'd like to, I know that Ed has just recently put in an upgrade to the system that he's using, which is a standard system and is a pretty decent system. Have a look at that, take a look at the IT department, make sure that things are running there the way that they should and most efficiently. And staffing, I think that by attrition through the course of time, through an assessment of that office and what is most efficient again, to make sure that things are working the way that they should and make sure that those checks and balances are in place between the auditor and treasurer's office so that we don't go down looking as though, some of these other counties, and I'm quite proud that our county doesn't have the issues that others do.
So what have you done to upgrade the office, and what safeguards have you instituted or would you institute to prevent any abuse of the office?
Let me mention two things that we've done to improve the office when it comes to computerization and IT services. Back in 1999, Lake County formed what we call this Geographic Information System Board, and I'll refer to it as the GIS department. And in Lake County, we wanted one map that all the department heads, elected officials could use throughout the county. So the auditor, the engineer, and the commissioners partnered together in order to do this mapping. And basically what it is, we took our manual tax maps that we had, and we have many different layers. We won't get into all the different layers that we can put on there, such as topography and curbs and so on and so forth, and put those on a computer so that now that information is available to everybody in the county right at their desk, at their fingertips. In the past, if you were working for the Planning Commission and you were dealing with the old manual tax maps, maybe you had dated maps in your office, or if you wanted to check on current ones, you had to go over to the tax map department. So this has created a lot of time, energy saving on both the department head and elected officials' part. A lot of the departments within the county use this, and you're kind of just looking at some examples. Obviously, the engineer's office uses it. The building department uses it. The Planning Commission does. Our narcotics agency, our emergency management agency, the Board of Elections, and the list goes on and on. Now, we've not only utilized this GIS department within Lake County, but I'll give you an example that we've reached out to the local communities to offer the GIS to them. And one example that I'll give you is a lot of the local fire departments have now platted their fire hydrants on the maps. So when they're en route to an emergency, they can literally call up this map, and before they even get to the scene, they can plan how they can deploy their men and equipment in an emergency situation. So this is a lot of efficiencies and a lot of time-saving things that go on within the county. I would urge you, if you haven't checked out the county website, to please do so, because there's a lot more information and a lot of departments that are tied into the technology that we have. And the website is www.lakecountyohio.gov. Within the IT department, we've utilized some newer technology, and that's called virtualization. What that is, it's a software that really allows us to take a number of servers that we have and reduce the number. We used to have approximately 40 servers serving all the different departments throughout the county. We are now down to 4 servers. And you may say, well, why is that important? Well, it's important because you're saving on maintenance, repair, and replacement costs now when you're only looking at 4 versus 40 servers. That technology also allows us to add newer programs. And these newer programs can be added in minutes and hours as compared to in the past where it may have taken hours or days to add new programs.
Okay, so we'd like to take up another topic, but before we do that, we're going to take a brief intermission.